Welcome, everybody, to today's weekly town hall meeting, October 31st, 2022. Happy Halloween for those of you who celebrate, and happy beginning of the week. Today's agenda: projects and development updates, marketing content updates, collaboration updates, and Q&A. So let's get started, Robinson, with project and development updates.
Thank you. This time we have the engineering metrics for the entire month. So previously we were calculating it for a duration of 15 days. At this time, this is for the entire month, and this is probably the first full month where we have these metrics available after we started using the Dora metrics. So, and there are some good progresses as well. So in terms of our change lead time, it's improving. Actually, this is a metrics that shows how fast we are in deploying or completing our work. So here, we're showing a downward trend, which is just kind of good. And overall, compared to previous weeks, this looks much more healthy. And the development time is also going down. And for a duration of the entire month, the review time is slightly higher, but generally, we are improving in these areas as well. Even for releases, even though these numbers are showing a upward trend, we actually have more releases happened in the previous month, in the current month, in the month of October, to be precise. So this is pretty good progress that we are making as a team. So this is the number of deployments or the releases that we've made. So this is also showing a really good trend. So we have three releases which happened in the month of October, and so there were three of them, and all of them were from the next project. If you look at the release list, one of the next releases is marked as a hotfix release. That is because there were some issues in the previous release, and since there was an MR which was marked as or tagged as hotfix, it was identified as a hotfix for the previous release. So these names and attributes like hotfix is very important because this will also be used in our quality measurement. So finally, we have three releases that the Dora metrics is able to capture, and now I think in the upcoming months we need to keep working to improve this. For throughput or the number of PRs, which essentially remains the same. So I think what makes the whole difference is our new CI/CD and the deployment process. So that is we've been working on this for like last 2.5 months, and that has really started showing good progress. Quality metrics. So this is the first time we started having the quality metrics. The tool Hashtag is finally able to capture the metrics. And that we had three releases of products across our entire portfolio, and only next was tracked. And out of these three releases, one of them is termed as a fix for a production bug, which happened in an earlier release. So that is why the failure rate is measured at 33% per week. And the good news is that GitLab also has these measurements, and on GitLab also the measurement is exactly the same. GitLab is tagging it as 33.37. I think as an organization, this is important because finally we are able to follow these modern metrics, and the Doro metrics we are able to capture the data across all four criteria now, which is speed and releases, throughput, and finally the quality. So really appreciate the hard work everybody had put to make this happen, and we must focus on other projects as well. The other products like the blockchain product, trade hands, etc. We need to have more deployments and releases happening so that we can push this even further. We'll start with the product updates, starting with the blockchain updates. So on the blockchain side, we have bifurcated the team into two, and now we started actively working on the Substrate platform as well as on the older Peerplays legacy code base, where most of the items are now bug fixes and releases for Ethereum, Suns, etc. Now, the legacy Peerplays team is working on a hotfix for an production bug, which we plan to release hotfix release sometime this week. And on the Ethereum Sun's POC, we're working on adding test coverage to the smart contracts. So as I had previously mentioned that we have also completed support for smart contract upgrade. Now we're planning to increase the test coverage, and we're also doing audits so that we can identify any low-hanging bugs or issues. On the next side, we had a release, and the regression is happening on this. So we have staging release, which is pointed to the mainnet, and there is a QA deployment, which is pointed to one of the test nets. And in addition to that, we are working on the performance testing. So this performance testing, even though this is marked under the next, we are also planning to measure the performance for the faucet, for the APIs, and obviously for the next and the DEX functionality, which is an on-chain functionality. So we are evaluating few tools, etc., for the performance testing at this point. On the trade hands project, we've been working on few designs. A couple of design screens are completed, and we have an enormous list of various tickets in review or rework. And I guess next week we'll have a lot more tickets in completed status. So that's primarily all the updates from the development team. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Robinson. Love your little ghost here. Michael, marketing content updates, please.
Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone, wherever you are. Happy Halloween. I wanted to share an update for everyone on scenes. I met with the Avalon team on Thursday of last week, October 27th, to level set on where we are with this product. There's good news and some bad news. The good news is that some issues have been resolved from the preliminary conversations they had with us back in August and September. The bad news is that only 25% of those issues are resolved. I've provided the document link for anyone who wishes to take a look at it closer. In terms of where we are today, this is what we have. It's pretty bare bones, but it provides us lots of opportunity to include content that's going to work for our witness community. Vlad, who's our Peerplays community manager, has reviewed the list that we received back from Avalon and provided his recommendations over the weekend. We will be reviewing those today and going back to Avalon for essential fix requests. We will be communicating our expectations to the Avalon team with respect to timelines with that communication as well. Concurrently, I'm going to be working with Vlad to clean up any testing data that was in there that was posted throughout the month of September and October. We're going to be curating our top performing articles and essential resources, including our tutorials, our documentation to populate the site. And as always, your extended team suggestions are welcome with ideas and suggestions as to how we can improve this. As Jonathan mentioned on September 13th, people connect to people, not platforms. We would encourage everyone to sign up and register for and start using this tool as early as possible. The intent is to wholly replace Rocket Chat as a means of communication with inside the organization. And so I'll provide an update, hopefully a concrete update on scenes at next week's Town Hall update. October 26th, Jonathan provided a green light on proceeding with the proposed visual approach to the new Peerplays website. I've shared some screen grabs of website mockups and wireframes. They're evolving with Dave this week, who continues the WordPress build. We will be meeting tomorrow to touch base. Some of the things that we're looking at based on the feedback from Jonathan is including some very clear direct links to the community platform, i.e. Scenes. That's been incorporated into a new menu structure, which I can talk to in greater detail next week. And also we've combined the resources section of the docs and articles and blogs that Peerplay produced so that we have one central location for everything that we're putting together. Another action item that has to happen and concurrently with the work that Dave's doing in terms of the WordPress build is I'm going to be working with Mo, who's our content copywriter, to do an export out of our existing website on all of the top 30 performing articles to make sure that they're integrated into a new version of our website when we launch. So I will be providing hopefully another update with respect to where we are with this website development next week. So I'm hoping that you guys have noticed that we've been doing some work on restructuring these Peerplays weekly emails. They look a little different. They function a little different. We have a total approximate audience of about 33,000 people. Minor updated features for these emails, including timestamps to direct documentation, product marketing, collaboration, and Q&A portions of these meetings. We've also included links to Jonathan's latest reaction videos. We've also highlighted Peerplays documentation and video tutorials. And we've also highlighted some of the major components of what Peerplays is for anyone who is interested in joining the blockchain. The good news is that these emails are experiencing a fourfold increase in click rates. So lots of work to do with these emails once we get a digital marketing specialist on board. but I think we're evolving them. We're moving forward with what they do and the results that we get from them. So these will continue to evolve as we go through Q4 of 2022. As per last week, I'm sharing some session and page view updates versus the website. These are obviously not really where we want in terms of overall numbers, but the spikes that you're seeing directly correlate to either career listings on LinkedIn or the weekly emails that go out in support of this meeting. On the positive side, I know 75%, close to 75, 80% of the visitors to our website remain new. And that's a trend that we've noticed over the last 2 weeks. Again, once we onboard a digital marketing specialist, we will continue to improve the structure of our new website to make sure that we're getting the traffic that we want, and these metrics will improve moving forward. In addition to all of the above, we meet today, Jonathan and I meet today with a digital marketing specialist candidate who's been vetted by Alka. We keep our fingers crossed that we can fill that role as soon as possible. In addition, based on today's earlier product descriptions meeting with respect to the team restructuring, I will be hiring a social media specialist to wholly own social media for Peerplays, managing all of the responsibilities that are associated with that across all of the platforms that we have facing customers. And I'll be working with Alka this week to generate a job description for that. JM, Jonathan, and I restart our product messaging sessions. Those will continue November 2nd and November 4th. And the team is still working on and making progress on some asset creation for next. That concludes this week's marketing update. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Michael. Up next is collaborations update from Jonathan.
Thank you very much. These are the collaboration updates for Peerplays for this past week. In the gaming sector, we have Gaining Benefits Corporation. In the regulated charitable gaming sector, we had our weekly call and we got more details in terms of the regulator dashboard. They also did sign a commitment, another commitment actually, to the regulator dashboard getting completed. So that happened last week. I alluded to that in the previous update. So we are starting to put that together now, and we should be moving forward with that pretty soon. So that's looking good. Infrastructure, 3Speak Media. We finally are moving forward with that. We just got confirmation on this. The team is now gearing up so that this week they will be kicking off with the work in relation to cross-chain interfacing feature. So this feature is going to be something which will allow for 3Speak tokens to move into Peerplays, but then also move into other blockchains. So effectively, a 3Speak token could potentially go from 3Speak into Ethereum via Peerplays and vice versa. So this effectively is going to make it so that Peerplays Suns becomes a very powerful engine. Pretty exciting stuff. We're looking forward to getting that completed, and the team is all ready to go and kick it off. So there'll be more on that in the future. In the medical sector, Mars VR, gaming rehabilitation community, we have signed into an agreement with them in relation to seeing the Mars VR game to connect with Peerplays blockchain. Now, the work they're doing is effectively to create a smart contract sort of community where tokenization is going to be incorporated into their VR game, which helps people to rehabilitate faster and at a lower cost. So their game is getting a lot of rave reviews from all the different stages of review they have to go through. As you know, in the medical sector, a highly regulated industry, you don't just make a product and everybody starts using it. You have to go through a whole series of different stages in order to actually get acceptance into the medical system. And they're near the end of that process. And with incorporating the blockchain, that means that we're going to be able to see that kick off just as they're getting into the marketplace. So that's pretty exciting. So yeah, that's underway, and we are going to be in communication with their team this week so that we can be able to better line up with their goals. That's all good. Voting and polling, follow my vote. There was another call this past week where we met with them in relation to the Polaris DApp, and basically to get some discovery in regards to their requirements in order to better support Polaris as a DApp. It was built with Peerplays in mind back in 2021. I believe is when we did that collaboration. So we're going to continue to see how we can support that. And there is a plan for follow-up on that in another 2 weeks, I believe. So that was the collaborations for this past week. And on to dedicated team updates. We fortunately are going to be seeing Shashank no longer working with the team. His contract will expire November 8th. He will be with us up until November 8th, but after that, he will not be working with Peerplays anymore. But at the present time, we aren't looking for another front-end dev to replace him or anything like that. If there is a need, we may reach out for that, but for now, not at the moment. As Michael mentioned, we are looking for a digital marketing specialist. We do have some runner-ups that look good, but nothing finalized yet. So if you do happen to know somebody who is a digital marketing specialist that you think is going to bring some excellence to Peerplays, please do refer him. You can send them to the Peerplays LinkedIn job posting, which is available there, or you can reach out to Alka directly, and that'd be great. So those are the updates for this past week in Peerplays. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Questions, comments, thoughts? I've had a few that came in from the community. The first question here, regarding 6 Pro, what does the roadmap look like? When can we expect the release?
Okay. 6 Pro actually has been updated and is operational now. It can be downloaded from the current GitLab and can be used by anybody, actually. It's also been made available. It's going to be made available as a demo. And there was a plan to set up a page which would showcase what it could do. But however, unfortunately, the current peerplays.com site has been left in a somewhat broken, unmanageable state by previous contributors who are no longer with the team. This has put a bit of a delay in the expectations of getting a page set up with Peerplays to give details on how to use it. So that's basically why you haven't seen very much about it. We did all this work earlier in the year to introduce this, but due to this hang up, we're not able to move forward with those plans. I anticipate that once the new Peerplays website is set up that Michael has been talking about, we can also have these details made available and start moving ahead with getting 6 Pro into its own path, which is where it's going.
Thank you. On to question 2. What is the solution to the data feed / Oracle problem?
Okay, so I assume this is in relation to 6 Pro again, since that's primarily where we had those issues. So the current solution is Couch Potato, and that was meant to resolve numerous issues in the design which was made in the first version. We worked closely with the community. Actually, we worked closely with community members in testing and reviewing it. However, once it was released and ready, witnesses had voiced their objection to supporting it. They could do this basically by not accepting Couch Potato's target address, and this is how the whole bookie Oracle system was set up, where all witnesses had to have control over where the data was coming from. And there's issues in that in itself. So it was released and never used by the witnesses. So a clear path of acceptable criteria was never made available either. We never got any clarity on that. And with other projects on the go at the time, there was just no longer any further development. So it's there and it's working. If witnesses today can accept it, it can work. So there are new tokenomic systems that we're actually working on in Peerplays that I believe would work rather well with Couch Potato. But I think once they are introduced, it could help a great deal in bootstrapping activity with it. But for now, essentially the answer is that the solution is Couch Potato.
Will there be a working, easy-to-use referral system upon the release as advertised for Bookie?
There actually has always been a referral system built in. I can remember a lot of work was done in that in the early days. If you recall, someone actually packaged the Bookie Pro interface years ago under the name called bookiepro.bet, and everyone who downloaded that interface and set up a new account on Peerplays was being referred by bookiepro.net. And basically bookiepro.net was receiving a portion of the administrative fees from the blockchain by doing that. So that is already done. It was up to whomever ran that interface to determine if they wanted to share those admin fees with other users. There was a possibility of doing that too, but this all really falls under how a faucet is set up. to take advantage of those core functions that are already available in the blockchain for user accounts. Personally, I think it's a great idea, actually, to make it easier to access. And a POW dedicated to making these sorts of things happen is the strategy being taken. So if this is something you're interested in, then I highly recommend getting involved in with the POW that will be working on referral systems in the near future. That's the direction we're going. So hope you can join in to help make it great.
Okay, thank you. Will 6 Pro include a mobile version as advertised in the past for Bookie? Majority people are mobile users. Some consider a desktop only application is pretty pointless.
There's a lot of things to consider in a mobile version of 6 Pro. Let me get into it. The original 6 Pro was designed for quote unquote professional sports bettors. That's why the Pro is in the name, right? There was plans in the past to have like there was 6 Pro, and then there's going to be like 6 Mobile or 6 Mo, I guess you'd call it. The issue with sports betting exchanges, like this is a design issue. So the issue with sports betting exchanges in the traditional way they work is they are just like any traditional exchange where they need liquidity. So a lay and a back, right, need to find a match. That's the way the exchange works. If no one is willing to take your back with its odds, then your potential winnings simply don't happen. That's how a traditional sports betting system works. And that is the methodology that was copied over into the blockchain. So in Peerplays blockchain. So the expectation from years ago, based on input from the SMEs, the subject matter experts at the time, was that if we built Bookie Pro to target sports betting exchange experts and pros, then that would provide the liquidity needed to then serve a wider entertainment market, right? Basically the casual bettor. So this entertainment market are the ones who most likely would want access to a mobile version, right? Because it would be a completely different experience to what you have in Bookie Pro. With the previous iteration of Bookie Pro, there was many discussions with different operators on using it, but it was never adopted. So this left the question of liquidity open-ended. Most pros will run advanced algorithms like bots, which are designed to win which is designed for them to win basically on many small bets. So they'll go like right across the gambit. They've got a huge database of statistics that they run against it, and that's what they do. That's how they make their money. At present, we're not aware of any of these pros in the world, and there's a lot of them, by the way. There's so few of them, so it's a very small market to approach. Nobody has shown any interest in a blockchain-based sports betting exchange, and it's kind of a catch-22 situation then, where if there isn't the entertainment, like if isn't there the entertainment sports bettors, which they can make their money off of, because the entertainment bettors come in with their casual betting, they don't make the really statistically highly probable advanced algorithm type bets that these guys do, and they lose against these guys. So that's how they make their money. But it's a catch-22 situation, essentially, where we don't have pros that are interested. And so then by that, not having that liquidity, we then aren't able to attract the entertainment / inexperienced sports bettors, right? So that said, in a current iteration, all right, based on the original design, there's no need for a mobile version as of yet. The question of how to effectively impact liquidity is still outstanding, right? It's still open-ended. But back in 2020, I briefly shared a concept I came up with where we abandoned the whole traditional sports betting exchange model, and instead we incorporate some new mechanics, which we can do now thanks to blockchain technology. I called it Fanplays at the time. That was just something I came up with. And it incorporates NFTs, and it looks at a more fan-focused approach, right? It's turning the sports betting exchange process into something that is only on the back end and enables everyone to basically interface with decentralized sports betting market maker of sorts. Yeah, so I came up with the whole concept. I talked about, I went over it with some numerous people who are into sports betting. They thought it was really cool. I shared it with the Telegram group, but I never received any particular feedback of interest. So it was never pursued. But the good news is that 6 Pro now will serve as a demonstration of what we've learned. Like all of this that I just went through, that's essentially 6 Pro helps everybody to understand what we learned from this and where we are now, and will get its own Peerplays autonomous organization to decide where it should go from here. So the community can then decide if they want to create a mobile app, right? Or perhaps incorporate the design of Fanplays I suggested a few years ago. I'll be happy to, go over that in details, or maybe come up with something new themselves, right? You got a whole community of people that are interested in 6 Pro. Perhaps a clever DeFi like functions can be made better. Like they can be adopted and then incorporated into 6 Pro so that it has some kind of interesting mechanics that could make it work. Either way, Peerplays currently has a powerful information market engine built into it, and that is what 6 Pro works from. So as an autonomous organization who has people who are intrinsically motivated to see it through, I believe that they will end up creating something that will be better to serve everybody. That's pretty much the answer regarding the mobile.
Thank you. Does anybody here have any follow-up questions to this? All right, that will end today's town hall meeting, October 31st, 2022. I hope you all have a great day and week, and have a happy Halloween.